Hey guys, so today we are going to discuss the differences between DDA algorithm and Bresenham line drawing algorithm. In my previous videos, I have already told you that what is DDA and how we use the Bresenham line drawing algorithm in order to draw lines between 2 points. So now we are going to discuss the difference between the two algorithms. So first of all, we will take up the efficiency as our basis of comparison. That is, in DDA algorithm, the efficiency is low as compared to Bresenham algorithm, whereas the efficiency is much higher of Bresenham algorithm as compared to DDA. So now let us come to the second basis of comparison, that is the calculations involved. Now in DDA we have complex calculations, whereas in Bresenham we have simple calculations. Now this is because in DDA algorithm we do calculations using floating point numbers. And what do we mean by floating point numbers? Floating point numbers mean that numbers which have decimals in them. For example, say 2.1, 8.47. These are floating point numbers. Whereas in Bresenham line drawing algorithm, we do not use floating point algorithm calculations. We use integer calculations. Now, for example, what are integers? You must know that 1, 2, 3, 4, and from 0 to infinity and from 0 to minus infinity. All are integers and there should be no decimal in them. That is, there should be whole values with no decimal point in them. So these are the integer calculations which are done in Bresenham line drawing algorithm. Now that is why the Bresenham line drawing algorithm is much simpler as compared to the DDA line drawing algorithm, as there is no floating point calculations. So now let us come to the speed. That is, now we will be discussing the third point of comparison, and this point can be inferred from the above comparisons also. That is, the speed will be less. That is, it will be a not very fast process, it will be a slow process. DD algorithm will be a slow process, that is, the speed will be low. Whereas the Bresenham line drawing algorithm will be a fast process, or we can say more speed. Now this is because as we had discussed earlier, we have integer calculations in Bresenham line drawing algorithm, whereas we have floating point calculations which involved decimals in DDA algorithm. That is why the speed is lower in DDA algorithm. So now let us see the operations used. Operations used in the algorithms. Now in DDA algorithm we use two operations, that is the multiplication and division. Whereas in Bresenham line drawing algorithm we use only addition and subtraction. So this point can also be used, that is, these points can also be used. Sorry for that. These points can also be used, that is the addition and subtraction, to find out that the speed will be less for DDA and the speed will be fast for Bresenham. So now let us come to the fourth point. To the fourth point, that is the precision. By precision we mean that the by how precise our calculations will be and the points that we will get between the 2 points in which we have to draw a line. So the precision of a DDA algorithm will be lower as compared to the precision of a Bresenham line drawing algorithm. Now let us come to the fifth point of difference. Let me change the color. Now the fifth point of difference is the cost. A DDA algorithm is expensive because in this we require high computers. That is, very expensive computers are used because we have to do floating point calculations. And whereas we do not do floating point calculations in Bresenham line drawing algorithm, that is why it is moderately cheaper as compared to DDA. Now let us come to the sixth point of difference, that is the optimization. Now in optimization is not provided in DDA, that is, we do not provide any optimization, whereas optimization is provided in Bresenham line drawing algorithm. So guys, these are the points that we have to remember. Now let us write one more, that is the seventh point. That is the arithmetic computation values. That is, by this we mean that the values on which we will be working on. That is, as we discussed earlier in DDA, we will be using floating points or the values with decimal places in them. Whereas in line drawing algorithm, Bresenham line drawing algorithm, we will only be using the integer type. That is, this will be the line drawing algorithm and the DDA algorithm differences. So now let me sum it up again, that what all we discussed. Now first of all, we saw the efficiency of both the algorithms. That is, the efficiency of DDA is much lower as compared to the Bresenham algorithm. Then we came to the second point. Now the second point is very important. This is the most important point in differences between these two algorithms. That is the complexity and the simplicity. That is, DDA is much complex as compared to Bresenham because we are doing floating point calculations. This is very important. And whereas in Bresenham we are only doing integer calculations. That is why it is a very simple process, due to which it is a faster process as compared to DDA algorithm. Whereas the DDL algorithm is a slow process, that is, it has less speed because we have floating point calculations in them. And now then we discuss the operations used in these algos. That is, we use multiplication and division over here. And in Bresenham line drawing algorithm, we use addition and subtraction. This is also a very important point. Now let us come to the fourth point, that is the precision. In DDA, we have low precision, that is, the values are not very precise. The values of the points are not very precise, whereas the values of the points are much more precise as compared to DDA and Bresenham algorithm. That is why we have high precision over here. Now let us come to the cost. DDA algorithm, though it has slow speed, but it is a very expensive process because here we have floating point calculations. That is why it is an expensive process, because we will have to use high power computers. Whereas Bresenham line drawing algorithm is much cheaper because in this we simply do addition and subtraction and nothing else is used, and we only use integer calculations. Now let us come to the sixth point. This point is not very important, you can ignore this part. Now let us come to the seventh point. This point is very important. Let me change the color. Now in this we are using the arithmetic computational values. That is, on what values we will be working on. That is, in other words, we can say on what type of values we will be working on. That is, in DDA we will be using the floating point values. That is, say 0.6, 99.87. These are all floating point values. Whereas in Bresenham line drawing algorithm we will be using integer values. That is, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 45, 98, 77. These are all integer values which do not have a decimal place in them. That is why Bresenham is much faster as compared to DDA. So guys, these are the points of differences between the two, and remember that this point is very important. And if you remember the second point, that is, if you remember that they use floating point calculations, then you will be able to remember the speed, that which has faster speed. From there you will know that if it has faster speed, if it has slower speed, that is, it will be using multiplication and division, and Bresenham will be using addition and subtraction. Then precision will be low and precision will be high in Bresenham. And similarly, as we had discussed earlier, these are all the points of differences. Now guys, I hope you were able to understand it, and please write this in your notebook along with me so that you are able to remember it and you don't get confused between the two. So guys, if you are able to understand it, just write wow in the comment section. And it would be great to know that you are able to understand it. And please do not forget to subscribe our channel, as it would help us to create more such informative videos. So guys, this is it for this video. See you in the next one.